Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs podcast? Welcome to the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, your top source for Chiefs news. Our podcast is produced by Bowtie Sports and hosted by Nick Athan, Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, Hense Todd, and special contributor, Fox sports reporter, and anchor, Harold Kuntz. Please like and subscribe to our show. Now let's talk Kansas City Chiefs football.
All right, welcome to the next edition of the Chiefs Blitz podcast, brought to you by ChiefsBlitz.com, produced by Bowtie Sports LLC. I'm your host, Nick Athan, with Mr. Hense Todd, Coach Andre Tillman, and, of course, Lou Montagna.
Hey, look at that.
Out already. I mean, I did a beautiful intro. I give your company props, and you said, out of here, out of here, out of here.
No,
all right, guys, welcome to the Wednesday edition.
No I in team.
No INT. That's right. That's right. Welcome to the Wednesday edition. Before we talk all the things we're going to talk about today, and we want to get some your questions from the Chiefs Blitzers as well that we'll answer in a segment toward the end. But before we do that, let's talk about our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you want to play one of the best games out there, now that the NFL season is over, you got college basketball, you got the NHL, you got the NBA. These are great games you can play. You play 5, get up to $100 in bonus entries. Make sure when you go to underdog.com, you register, put in the code Chiefs Blitz, and that way you can join the Chiefs Blitzers on the Underdog app. It's pretty simple to use. It's easy to set up. And again, you get bonus dollar or bonus entries every time you set up a brand new account. Don't forget the code Chiefs Blitz.
Can't say football anymore.
I can't say football anymore.
It's so sad.
I don't know. I guess
sad.
we got the UFL, right? Coming in March.
I don't.
League. I don't know. I don't know if they're on there. I don't know if they were on there last year.
That's a thing. I wonder. Yeah, I don't remember if they were part of Underdog Fantasy, but yeah, just for the time being, not a lot of football wage or selecting going on. Sorry.
Yes.
So Dre said something interesting for the show.
He did.
Yeah, he. I was listening.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah,
always something interesting.
He was talking behind the scenes guys. He was saying about Will Anderson or
Will Campbell.
Somebody, Will Campbell, left guard, or like what's the importance of him, his arm length, and that's the stuff, you know what I mean. Everybody got to be looking at the combine too, because a lot of people saying at the combine that he was probably going to struggle at left tackle going into the lead, and so far he's shown that, you know what I mean, arm length is a very equitable thing to have.
Well, I think there's other issues with Will Campbell, but I don't know that it was so much that he would automatically struggle, but the odds, there haven't been many guys that have 33 shorter than 33-inch arms be successful at left tackle in the NFL. So those are a lot of like the analytics that teams look at, that, hey, I mean, if the odds are that small, are we really willing to bet a 4th overall pick on something that the odds of being successful is so small? I mean, typically you stay away from that if you're really managing your assets.
I think Lou, what you say, Lou, is facts, because arm length does matter. You got to have to play tackle. You got to have 33-inch arms or longer. You're gonna have to, because you got to stab. You got to learn to stab. You got to maintain that edge. So it's very important, man. Like, now, before the show, I was like, it wasn't just this game. Will Campbell was getting beat on.
No,
he was getting beat with Will Anderson.
Yeah, the whole playoffs. I mean, I mean, typically you go through a stretch of Houston, Denver, and then Seattle. I mean, he's almost those arguably the 3 best fronts in the NFL. So that's part of it. The fact that he's a rookie, the fact that maybe it is an arm length thing. So we'll see what they do next year.
What grade would you give him, Lou? So far, what grade would you give him right now?
What do you mean?
Just this season.
It was an awful. Well, I mean, he had an awful game. I mean, it was a big story because he chose not to talk to the press after the game. I mean, he's been hearing it for the last few weeks. I don't know. I don't really grade offensive linemen. I would have to say that he has struggled. He gave up, I think, 14 pressures in one game.
Struggled. Damn struggle. He got punished.
So
I see that man get knocked off his block. He was getting beat with speed. I mean, they was everything they wanted to do against Will Campbell. They did it. So for me, I will give him I will give him an F. I will give him an F because
and that's fine. Okay,
I'm just saying because if you look at what Simmons did, if you look at Justin Simmons, what Simmons did, Simmons honestly held his own. Right? When you look at Campbell, the way Campbell was getting beat, you would have thought he was like a fifth round pick. He was getting beat bad. I was like, damn, it's like Drake May couldn't do nothing. So it's like
I'm not gonna. I mean, he plays for another team, so I don't want to defend him too much. But
you know,
what's the difference? They overloaded that side. He had to block more than one guy on a lot of those pressures. The one-on-one stuff, it was very difficult. It was very difficult for him to adjust to that. And what I like about it is I like the fact that Mike Vrabel has already come out and said, hey, he's our guy going forward. None of this nonsense. He just had a bad game. And he's going to learn from it. Now, is he the best tackle in the first round? Obviously not. Is he a guy that just got his ass handed to him for a couple of games? And it just is. Listen, it's tough. When you have a quarterback with the inexperience of a Drake May, and you've got a team with a really great defensive-minded head coach who knows how to attack a young quarterback and create chaos, you go after the weakest link. And obviously that was the weakest link, and they exploited it. They could have put tight ends out there. They could have chipped running backs. They didn't move away from the pass rush on that side. There were a lot of things offensively I thought, that the Patriots could do. And I thought it was one of Josh McDaniels' worst called, playoff games. And I can't completely blame him because there were a lot of people at fault. I mean, Drake May, he didn't use his legs. He didn't try to escape as much. He didn't use the gifts that he has. He had open receivers that he hesitated throwing the ball to.
Kind of like Patrick in last year's.
Yeah, exactly.
We can just say those guys were just better.
Yeah,
you can say all you want about Mike McDonald's plan and the simulated pressures and everything. Mm-hmm. All that came into play. But at the end of the day, their front 5, 6, 7 was better than the Patriots' offensive line. That includes Will Campbell. So there is going to be discussion, I guess, at some point that, do we move him to guard? Now, if they have up until they have a viable option at left tackle, they are going to build him up as much as they possibly can. Right? I mean, Coach Reed would do that. Any coach is going to do that. They're going to take up for their player. But I think at a certain point, it'll just come out that, okay, we're going to move him inside. And other guys have done that. I mean, Tooney did that from college to the NFL and became like one of the best guards ever. I think Will Campbell isn't like a waste or a bust. He just may be playing out of position.
I think going.
He also says he had a torn muscle in his knee.
Yeah, so he was injured.
It's like if you put like McDuffie playing slide to the outside, McDuffie might not be as good on the outside. He's decent, but you put him in that slot, he's a beast, right? So it's like, okay, for me looking at it, because he is a stud still, but I feel like that to me exposed like, okay, if you can't play tackle, but I know you can play guard. Maybe that's going to put you in a position so you can be successful. If I was the coach Mike Vrabel, I'll put him in guard.
Right.
I'll put him in guard. He got all the tangibles to play guard.
For different reasons, we had a similar situation here in Kansas City, if you recall, where Kingsley, they decided, well, maybe that's a little too fast for him. Now, obviously, he wasn't the 4th player picked in the draft, so it wasn't like this big outcry, but he's a bigger dude, but he settled in at that position. So maybe that's the same thing that happens with Will Campbell eventually, or he just gets healthy and is able to, watch film, get coached better and everything else, and he becomes a decent left tackle. So until they have a viable option, they leave him out there because, again, if you made the change in game or even going into that game, okay, you played one way all the way to this point.
Yeah.
And we know you can't play left, but we don't have a viable option. What are you going to do? I mean, you go with your guy.
I know what they can do. They can go off-season surgery on his arms. Extend them arms. How long you can get an off-season surgery? I don't know if it's out there. I know some people get knee surgery and things like that. But hey, maybe extend his arms and maybe he'd be better. Because heck, that Super Bowl looked at like it brought flashbacks. My heart started racing. I said, "No, Patrick Mahomes, run!" I thought I was seeing Patrick Mahomes out there and the Chiefs out there in the Super Bowl. How bad that offensive line was looking for the Patriots. Right. Yes, I know.
As much as you are clamoring for the Chiefs to have, like this,
the offensive line is fixed.
Listen to me. To get like this all-world back, what wrecks every single game is these demons that can rush the passer. Yeah. So
I see what wrecked the Super Bowl was the running back. The running back wrecked the Super Bowl.
I don't know, man.
Did he get MVP?
I think whatever. I mean, I think the defense was the MVP. I mean,
guys, if y'all look at it, defensive fronts win championship. Offensive line, defensive fronts.
Well, it certainly has the last two.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at it, man. Defensive tackles, like nose tackles and defensive tackles, are to me or of the X factors on any team, right? You got to be able to get pressure in the middle. Chris Jones was a stud. When Chris Jones was in his prime, he couldn't be stopped. Our defense was scary because of Chris Jones, because that pressure on the inside. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that, you're gonna get your ass kicked on the offense. Gonna kick your ass.
Right. And again, it is a unit. So if there's more attention being paid to the edges, that guy in the middle can eat a lot.
He's gonna set the tone. Yes.
If the edges aren't as respected, if you will, they can really slant the blocking towards the guy they are afraid of. So I think that's what Chris Jones runs into, age, all these other things you can talk about. But at the end of the day, you get a bunch of demons up front. You can do all the different schemes and so forth, and it looks fancy. At the end of the day, if your guys are better than those guys, you're going to win.
Listen. The secondary is ice on the cake for them because it's easy for them because the pressure is getting to the quarterback. Now they just sit back and watch. You can play zone all day.
What you thought if Josh Simmons went number 4 for the Patriots, you know what I mean? You think he would do a better job than Campbell?
I don't know. Would he have shown up?
When he's showing up, would he play better? Because
no. Would he have shown up? I mean, I don't know. I think there's other. I think there's a lot bigger questions that we have to deal with Josh Simmons than.
He said when he showed up.
We know he can play.
Is he consistent?
We know that I believe that he has a better ceiling, than a higher ceiling than Will Campbell does at playing left tackle. It's just all the other stuff. Now, again, when he was out there, absolutely. I don't think there's any question. Now, he had his struggles too, but not quite to this degree.
Not to this.
All kidding aside, we hope like hell that Josh has everything straightened out in his personal life, his physical, his health, and everything else, and we won't be talking about this ever again.
Let me ask you, Hense, Let me ask you this, Hense. Do you believe the Chiefs have a championship offensive line going this year? Going this year, do you believe that this offensive line is complete?
You got Kingsley showed that to me. He looked like an all-pro. You know what I mean? He looked like an all-pro to me. Then you got Simmons. If he shows up,
he was pretty ascending player. He was pretty good.
I can't never fit. Let me fit.
Oh, sorry. You say crazy ass stuff like he was an all pro. Like really easy, man.
Lou is the gold jacket.
I said I feel like Kingsley looked like he looked better than he did, Lou. I'll say that. He looked better.
That's a hell of a lot lot than he's an all pro.
I think he looked better than I expected. Then you got Josh Simmons.
Well, that's good. That makes more sense.
Like Lou said, when he shows up, yes, he looks like an all pro. You know, Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. You can't say much
all pro stuff.
You can't say that much about Creed and Trey, man. Them two together is like
all pro with those guys. I think you can say it. Yeah.
Now the right tackle. You know what I mean? We don't know. That's going to be a key address in the third round. I think they can grab
why you wait, hold on. Why you say third round? You see, you keep highlighting Love. Now Taylor might be gone.
Yeah, that's right. In the third round,
address that side, man. I don't know. Now if we go offense, I'm going offensive.
The Chiefs won't take another tackle at 9. You guys are
we gonna talk about that later in the show. So Lou, what's your top for us to take for your red dot?
Hold on. Let me chime in here. You guys have pretty much taking over the first 14, 15 minutes of the show.
Come on now.
So no, I'm just kidding. So basically for me, I mean, I think they have solutions at the right tackle spot and they have depth. I think they've solved 4/5 of that offensive line, which going into the season, they only really knew 2/5. They only could count on Humphreys and Smith. The rest was Taylor, he had a history of having problems. We didn't know what Simmons was going to do. We didn't know Sua Matea. So they've, in 1 year, with playing time to boot, they got a lot of experience. So the right tackle, it's going to be one of two guys, unless they draft a guy in the first round or the second round to be an anchor right tackle for the next 5 years. That's a possibility.
Was told by someone on this here program that Issa Pohl would be our starting right tackle.
I'm telling you, I'm not talking about that. Okay, let's be clear.
That's what I'm saying. Do you still believe that?
I believe he is the better choice at right tackle.
Okay.
I think he's the best choice at right tackle just because of his size, his athletic ability. Again, he got a lot of playing time. Things I have to put up with this crew.
I believe in Issa Pohl. I believe in Issa Pohl.
He certainly could be.
I think and then you have a swing tackle who's a veteran. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think they'll draft another tackle, whether it's the third or fourth round.
All right, just to clarify, you're saying that Jalen Moore will be number.
I like to see Jalen Moore play both sides.
He's the sixth offensive line.
I think that would be the smartest move.
And they will start either Moore or Pohl. Juwan Taylor's gone.
He's gone. He's not coming.
And the international pathway was I can't remember his name right now. And
he filled in pretty good.
This is embarrassing. What was his name? What's his name?
I can't remember. Was it Goddard? No, it was
Godric. Yes, Godric.
I was close.
So, and I thought he has some tools for him. I think it's just he hasn't played. Like I said, he came from the international pathway. He really hasn't played enough football. But yeah, we talked about it on Monday with Harold. I mean, we're trying to get him to put it into Nate Taylor's ear, who puts it into Kelsey's ear, and Jason and the whole crew. And somehow Jeff Stoutland ends up in Kansas City coaching these young guys.
Where's he at? In Kansas City. Oh yeah,
and getting them rolling. So
I'm a dude.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, Nick. Ain't gonna lie. If Issa Pohl can go out there and maintain his own, can maintain starting, I believe the Chiefs do have a Super Bowl offensive line. You know what I'm saying? I really do, because Kingsley did step up, and Simmons could be consistent. You know what I'm saying? Standing on the field. We know what Creed Humphreys can do. We know what Trey Smith can do.
And I believe it. Year. Yeah,
I believe it. We will see. Because
all they need is a stud running back in Love. But other than that, so what do you have for us today?
They're good enough. Let's put it that way. They don't have to all be all pros.
In the AFC West,
leave that to Creed.
I would have to say it's the top offensive line in the West.
Leave it to Creed.
All right,
he'll be the all pro. He'll be the all pro.
Let's get the dot out. Let's go, Lou.
That's right, gang. It is Wednesday, and therefore it is talent acquisition time. This time of the season, we're looking for players. This guy is the red dot. The red dot is a guy that more than likely is not going to be a first-round pick, edge a second round, but typically it's going to be a day 2 or 3 pick. And so far, who have we had? We've had Ted Hurst. We've had Kyle Lewis. We'd have Jalen Kilgore, South Carolina. And today, for number 4, it's going to be a wide receiver. That's right, my favorite position, Reggie Virgil of Texas Tech. Last year, he played at Texas Tech. He had transferred from Miami of Ohio, played his first 3 years there. Didn't play much his first 2 years. Well, actually, I barely got on the field his first 2 years. But then his third year, he was second team All-MAC. 800 yards on only 40 catches. So this kid is a deep threat. He's got, yards after catch. I don't want to say he's a yak guy. I think it's more air yards. He gets deep. So if I was to give him a comp to somebody that I like and a lot of people like, is Alec Pierce, the free agent from the Indianapolis Colts, where it's not so much he's catching balls close to the line of scrimmage and then housing it. He's more in like getting down the field, and then he's big enough to go up, contested catch, whatever, and kind of take it the distance. So this kid's pretty good. So his 1 year at Tech, I don't like to talk a lot of stats, but just to give you some context, 55 catches, almost 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. He had 2 rushes, and he scored touchdowns on both of them. So he does have some running ability, but they really flashed at the Senior Bowl. That's where he really got on my radar, watching the one-on-ones and some of the other practices. And then in 11-on-11, he really showed out a little bit. He's really great at selling the deep route and coming back. Right. I'll get to the minuses in a bit, and it has something to do with that. But size, athleticism, speed, he's 6'2", 188. We'll see how he runs at the combine. This is what I'm talking about here, is where he kind of, right? I mean, you got to hold on to that pad level as much as you can before you kind of kill that stem and come back to the quarterback. So you sell it like it is going to be a deep route. Right. So that's kind of what we're looking at right here on the routes on air. So you're getting something out of that. Really strong hands, plucks the ball, hand catcher. But again, not the best after the catch. Doesn't really force a lot of missed tackles. So that's something he's going to have to work on. This is kind of what he majors in right here. Beating the guy off the line of scrimmage, getting downfield and getting over the top. So again, not, he's not going to be a first round pick just because of that. But I believe he's got some upside. He can learn these things, and hopefully Chad O'Shea can help him with all that stuff. Does tend to drift sometimes on the outside routes. So that's also got to be improved upon. And like I said, the pad level on those in breaking routes are just kind of like where you're trying to sell the deep route. And instead of just coming back, if it's in like an in break or whatever like that, he tends to drop the hips a little bit early. And just about every receiver that comes out of college does that. But at the end of the day, those are things that he's got to work on. But could be a guy that you look at again on end of day 2, day 3, or maybe early in
Jalen Hyatt. That's why I say you.
That's what I was gonna go with. I was gonna go with Jalen Hyatt. I was gonna go with. So Lou, let me ask you this, Lou. What's stopping him from going first round? Just give me one thing.
Just those things that I talk about. He's not really a big yard after the catch guy. He's not going to do a lot of stuff short and then kind of get a lot of yards after the catch. It's more so beating guys off the line of scrimmage and getting deep and being able to pluck the ball and so forth. You say Jalen Hyatt again, that comes back to kind of the system. I mean, these guys this isn't your dad or your uncle's Texas Tech wide receivers. Yeah. Like back in the day, like Amendola or Welker, or some guys like that, where it was an air raid and a lot of the routes were close to the line of scrimmage, and it was a lot of dink and dunk and guys catching 100 balls for maybe 900 yards, which there's nothing wrong with that if you got 3 or 4 of them. Their offense is a little bit different, a little bit more run heavy. So he was kind of their home run hitter, and I thought he did well with it. So there's a lot to work with here. None of them are finished products, but he's a lot farther away from being a finished product than a guy like a Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon or Carnell Tate. Right, those guys. I think they're a little bit closer to that, whereas this kid a little bit more raw, but he's got a lot to work with. So what's his yards after the catch, Luke? You say he's not really a yak guy. Do you know the yards averaging after the catch? The yards per reception at Miami was like close. It was like 20 yards. Woo! So now I wasn't able to find a lot of Miami of Ohio tape to watch. I just saw some stuff here, and again, so. Better competition. Typically, the yards per catch average is going to come down. But I hear what you're saying. You'd really have to dig into some of the deeper analytics.
I got you because so far, he like I say, he's a deep threat. You know what I'm saying? He can sell the deep. You know what I'm saying? He can sell the deep route. The deep post. But what got me was
Crabtree.
Crabtree. Hey, I laughed at that one.
You're gonna come at me with Crabtree. What do you think's gonna happen? that was my Richard Sherman impersonation.
Oh, hey, you silly. I'm thinking I was thinking of the other guy that snatched his chain. I'm thinking the other
mismatch.
Yeah, man.
No matchup. That's a mismatch.
It is, but you know what? Alec, like Perk to me is a good comp though. I like him going to the third or fourth.
Right.
round,
Well, Pierce, a lot of this similar stuff that I was writing here, I just found myself. This is what we were able to talk to Alec Pierce before the draft. This was a lot of the same things coming from that. Now he played at Cincinnati. So it wasn't exactly he was playing SEC competition or anything like that. So, we'll see. I mean, I think he's got a chance, but at the end of the day, he's not going to go that high because you have, he's got some steps to take, right?
Yep.
I mean, maybe it's in the Jalen Royals, maybe not the same type of player, but that maybe at that sort of level.
So if you had to choose to draft him or Thornton, bring Thornton back, which one you choose?
You asking me?
I'm asking
well,
you.
I think you know what you have in Tyquan Thornton. Yeah. So I mean, I think you kind of understand what you have, maybe like what some of his shortcomings are, and I think you have an idea that maybe we still haven't reached his apex. If you believe that, then you stick with the guy that's been in the system for a while or whatever. This kid would be, but again, you're building almost an entire new wide receiver room outside of two guys, right? And I mean, Thornton could be a third in that group, but we don't know. He's a free agent, so you really only have two guys or three. I'm sorry, Jalen Royals. You got three that are under contract. But I would say, Thornton over him just because of his familiarity, and you've seen him for an entire season plus. So,
just Thornton with the experience, you know what I'm saying? I favor Thornton, but like I said, the guy's still young, so he got to go through a learning curve. It's gonna be a learning curve for the young man. But
these are guys that are coming out in the draft this year. That's what we're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. But I like him. I like his upside. Lou, you had to clarify that, didn't you? You was like, we're talking about the guys coming into the league. We ain't talking about guys with the experience. But I got you. 100%.
Crinkleberry, the tight end from Penn State.
There you go.
Did you guys watch that video? Did you watch that YouTube short that I sent you?
I didn't get a chance to. It kept cutting off.
Key and Peele with their all name team.
Oh yeah, Crinkleberry. Crinkleberry.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, that's classic. There.
So let's that's Lou's red dot guy. I think he's I think he could be even Patrick Mahomes. He Texas Tech. Patrick Mahomes probably seen him. Since he go, that's his automata. He goes to he sponsors the school as well.
Paying for all that swag. Paying for all that swag he's wearing,
paying for the clothes and everything else. So it may be Patrick Mahomes seen him and said, "Hey, I want this guy." I kind of seen him in practice and everything else like that as well. So maybe that could be the take there. But speaking of Patrick Mahomes, let's talk about the franchise. That's what talking about the franchise today. What can these Chiefs do? We got free agents coming up, franchise tag, combine, all that stuff, and coming up before the season kickoff. Go ahead and read the question, Luke.
All right. So, can the Chiefs staff fix their roster issues in 90 days? Tall order.
I mean, we're assuming salary cap reconstruction, free agency, NFL draft,
a lot of work,
mini camps, undrafted free agent. All try to get done prior to the wedding for Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Just kidding.
Absolutely.
Listen, I think it's a tall order. And it starts with him, the guy, the franchise. What's his level of, we know what his involvement's going to be. If Patrick Mahomes has to sit on a chair and throw passes, he'll do it. But I missed that. I don't know what we'll.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I'm laughing at. Kareem said everybody passed end up sucking.
Okay. Kareem. We love you, man.
So Pat's got to up his game and play and talent.
All
right.
He got to up his game, man. You can't be showing love, Pat, man. We got to look at everything besides the relationship.
I don't think I'm going to get a thought in today at all.
Oh, absolutely.
I kind of have that feeling. Listen, it's going to be tough. I mean, the least of my concern is fixing their salary cap woes. They're 32nd in the salary cap as far as being over. They're 32nd in dead money. So that gives them a lot of room to maneuver and to make some changes. And there's 2 quick moves that can bring their salary cap back down to even. And then there's 4 or 5 moves they can make to get, maybe 20 or 30 million in cap space. So I'm not concerned about that. What I am concerned about is now that as we have some adults in the room and the coaching staff, and Harold mentioned that the other day. And it's going to be a matter of, okay, what do we build first, or can we build simultaneously to get a playmaker or 2 for the offense, or to get a playmaker or 2 for the defense? Where are we going to allocate the money? Where's Veach going to say what's the priority? If he cuts like a Dana or a Tranquil, you still got to replace him. Now they got Jeffrey Bassett. We don't know what he is because Spags refused to play him last year, so we don't know what we have there. We don't know what's going to happen with Leo Chenal, who I'm with Lou. I think they should sign to a cap-friendly deal. I think it makes a lot of sense. When is Norman Lott going to be back? Can we trust the growth of Ashton Galati? So all these things, and you have to look at what Brett Veach has to do. And again, fix the cap, no problem. Decide who to keep. Might be a little bit more problematic. But then do they want to fix the woes at running back? Do they want to fix the woes with a pass rusher or the interior of the defensive line, or maybe adding another cornerback? Do they want to fix those in free agency? If they do, then that pick 9 becomes a lot more versatile and becomes a lot more opportunity to trade up or trade down with. So Brett Veach has never been outside of the first year he was, or the second year he was the general manager, went out there and just made a big splash in the opening day. So even when he signed Thuney, that was day 2. So I think that's what they have to decide. I don't think Clark Hunt's going to worry about how much money it's going to cost. He's already got a stadium deal. He knows exactly what the franchise is and isn't. He knows where the money has to be put. But for me, I want to see aggressiveness. I want them to address their needs in free agency as much as possible within the salary confines that are set forth, not to go crazy. But I think that allows them a lot of flexibility going in the draft, which is they're going to need. They have, 5 draft picks, or is it 6? We don't know what's going to happen if they trade Trent McDuffie. It's a real possibility. Right. It may not happen. Maybe they sign him to a new deal. Who knows? But I would like to have less questions heading into the draft than crossing my fingers and hoping that Bain or Love is there at number 9. If your odds are one or the other is okay and one's available, great. You got your guy. But if they don't address some of these things in free agency, I think they lose a lot of leverage heading into the draft.
Yeah, I think they got to fix this in 90 days because we can't have no more of, this right here. I don't want to see no more of this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't wait. Ask Pat Mahomes, who do you want?
You just can't let this go, man. I don't know anybody who lives in the past more than you do.
We need more of that shirt. Come on, Coach.
You know that.
Bring it.
You're always ready.
Clyde, I told Clark and Coach Reed today that at about 4 o'clock, I said Clyde was going to be our pick because Coach and I were thinking your way. And then when we texted Pat and I asked Pat, I said, give me a name. I said, don't think about it. He said, Clyde. I said,
Kareem, hey, Kareem called
brutal,
it.
Man.
Hey, Kareem called it.
You're gonna never be allowed at Arrowhead again. You know that, right? You're trending that direction.
Hey, Kareem called it. Pat made the pick. Pat made the pick, so
it didn't work out. Up until the injury against New Orleans, he was the right pick. He made that offense click.
But other than that, man, I think they gotta not this 90 days. Patrick Mahomes coming off that injury, they gotta come in and lock in. Got to know what you're going to hit in free agent. Got to fix that salary cap problem. If you're going to cut Jawan Taylor to save money, don't bring back Mike Dana. Who you going to franchise tag? Who's a guy you're going to be using the tag on or not use the tag at all? But yes, they got to fix this coming in, because looking at all these other teams around them, Houston's going to get better, right? All the other teams are going to get better as well. So this team, we can't go into next year with the same problems. Like, okay, we brought back Eric Bieniemy, we brought back this person, the old people, and they're going to fix the problems. No, I
was told that's all they needed.
No, I know you need talent as well. You need good coaching and also good talent. If we can get to good talent on this roster within free agency and the draft and the combine, like Drace, like we talked earlier for 15 minutes about Campbell and the short arms. You guys, to make you go in these combines, you got to make sure you're looking at the right guys, because you don't want to go on down in the later in the season and you got a guy that not fit the scheme or not even on the field playing and bossing them guys, or Noah Williams starting later in the season. If these guys are gonna come out and hit in the 90 days period, man, you got to come out here and say, hey, this is our issues from last year, and this is what we're gonna lock in and put in the box, and this is what we're gonna shove up everybody's asses and come out here and play well next year. Go ahead, Coach.
I think they can fix it. I mean, they're gonna plug some guys in. They're gonna plug some guys in. Guys we might not like. Guys we might not like. They say, hey, well, that's a Veach guy. Veach believes in this guy. Pat Mahomes believes in this guy. So I believe they're going to fill the holes, but is it going to be the right guys though? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, going to the draft, we got to address. I mean, Nick said Issa Poe. I like Poe. I ain't gonna lie. So it kind of changed my perspective on the offensive line. It did, Pole. You know what I'm saying? So it changed my philosophy on that part. But the interior part of this defense has to be dealt with. We got to get somebody. We got to get Chris Jones some help. We know we got a lot on the other side. Lots of in the parking lot days. We don't know where Lot been at. You know what I'm saying? Galati, we don't know. Dealing with Galati, he's been inconsistent. That's my guy, but he's really been inconsistent. Donna, that's Nick.
He deserves a break too.
Dana, that's Nick's guy. He's been beating the drums with this guy and having a lick of shit. So you know what I'm saying? The thing is this. We have to address the defensive tackle part. Like my only thing is defensive tackle. Let's go defensive tackle. Let's really get Chris Jones some help. Let's help this secondary, right? Let's really help this secondary.
Bro, if you look at that's the most important part. But Drake, not to cut off your take,
go ahead.
Me looking at their past picks, it's been all defense, all on the defensive side of the ball. You know what I mean? It haven't been, most of the stuff haven't been working out. So
that's not true.
But here's the thing though. One thing about the draft guys, we don't know.
Felix worked out. Felix worked out, Nick. Felix worked out, Nick. You telling me Felix worked out?
You are so focused on the 1, 2, 3, or 4 things that didn't go right instead of looking at all the things that went right. I mean, seriously, dude.
He was a hometown hero, Nick.
But you love Noah Williams. You thought he was the GOAT. He thought he was the
But you tell me
you love You love Simmons. I mean, you're talking about in Boston. You could be 5 starters.
Did you guys watch First Take today or what?
I'm just saying. Did you not? So you said give him a break. So Felix worked out. So you telling us all us on this show and everybody that's watching, Felix worked out.
You're focusing on 3 or 4 bad players in 6 years.
All right, so 90 days. I'm not sure why we selected 90 days, but okay.
It needs to be 900 for you.
It's going to be very difficult to fix. I mean, if you believe that there's like the roster is that broken, no way in hell you're going to be able to do it in 90 days unless you hit like on 3 or 4 of the draft picks, and not just hit like, hey, these guys are going to be good players. You get like 2 or 3 of them have to be like great players and contribute right away, right? So that's going to be a tough task. I think they can be good enough. They can get enough talent with the talent that they have that they can be competitive next year and compete for the division.
Right.
Now, as far as free agency goes, Nick, you're right. They've never been big spenders. That was like in reaction to something that happened to them that was really bad in the Super Bowl. And Veach was like, I'm fixing this offensive line. So my thinking is, if he's looking at it this year, I'm fixing this defensive line. So we might see 3 or 4 of the picks go to D linemen. Now, again, there's only 6 picks, so maybe they don't use that many on D linemen, but at least 2 of them will be D linemen in my estimation. So free agency, you're not going to be able to address a lot of stuff. By rule, by definition, you overpay in free agency. That's just the way it works. The markets are the markets.
Yeah,
guys are going to the highest bidder. So you're not going to get away with cheap. I mean, they tried it with Tillery. They tried it with Fulton last year. Maybe
it's going to turn out to be okay.
Maybe Fulton gives you some snaps. I don't know. It was just a few games. You signed him at the beginning of the year. He's a healthy scratch for a bunch of those. So, yeah, you have to be really, your pro personnel people have to be like dead on nails, and your money people have to be right there too, with knowing the value of the guy and really trying to take advantage of the market, because the Chiefs typically don't want to, again, have those extended years of the contract where you're going to have some dead money if you get rid of them. And that's good, but it's also bad because you're not going to be able to compete for the top. Now, there aren't a ton of top end edge rushers in this free agent crop. Are you going to go pay $30 million or $20 million, even $20 or $25 million for Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah.
Are you going to pay that much for Jalen Phillips?
Do you trade that number 9 pick for Max Crosby?
Yeah, that's not going to work.
That's not going to happen.
And that's paying Max. Now, again, for a certain team, that would be a great trade because he already signed an extension. I think it's at like $35 million per. So he's below what the top edge rushers are making. Now, if you can get him to just stick with that contract and not have to extend or redo this contract he just signed, I think last year, then that's a good deal. But no, I mean, in terms of this, I would say give them this draft. I would think you probably have to give them another draft and another free agency to get to a point where you say build them this great roster. It's going to be awfully difficult to do in one off season unless you had some ridiculous amount of cap space and have the fortune that like New England had, where every free agent they brought in, just about
all of them
played well. And
unless you John Dorsey, you can get it fixed in one day.
And
unless you John Dorsey, I'm just saying.
I don't know what side of the bed you woke up on, but it was clearly the wrong one.
What team does John work for now?
Who
is he working?
He doesn't have a job in the NFL.
I'm just saying, if you left it with John Dorsey and you left the breadcrumbs for everybody else can get success.
Who scouted Patrick Mahomes? Right. Okay, we're gonna have this conversation again. Who scouted Patrick Mahomes? Who scouted on the desk?
No.
Who stood on the desk and said, "Hey, come on, it wasn't Dorsey."
We'll do like an episode of like Chiefs history and revisit all this stuff. I don't think anybody wants to hear this again.
Listen, Bo is bothering getting in Nick's head. Nick can't take the pressure. He can't take the pressure.
So if you can get one starter or maybe 2 from free agency, I would say that's successful for the Chiefs this year. And if you can get 2 starters from this draft, which you should, picking at 9-40, I think you're going to be ahead of the game. Now, if some of those guys you take later on, develop and like during the course of the year, you can see, hey, this guy's making strides. And then kind of the redshirt year they gave Noel Williams, that they gave Jeffrey Bossa, those guys have to play this year.
Yes.
How would you look at how would you look at our GM if he sitting there at 9 and is somebody drafted from the motherland and nobody knows their name and number 9 and you sitting there and all these other people on the board.
Why would you think that would even happen?
Why would you think that would happen?
I just messing with Nick. I just started up.
Why do you think that would happen? You're killing me, dude. You're gonna.
I don't even know what that means. I mean,
why did you say draft from the motherland? Like
whose motherland?
I don't know. It's just somebody.
Is Veach from some foreign country that we don't know?
Oh no. Hey, so let me ask you this, Hense. Let me ask you this. If they don't get Love at 9 and they do get defensive tackle, how would you feel?
If it's Banks, if it's Banks sitting there at 9 and his stock rise, what I expect his stock to rise, then if it's Banks there and they choose Banks, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Now, I want to hear no Peter Woods. Peter Woods would be second round and third round.
This is what I'm hearing.
Go ahead.
If Brett Veach selects a gold jacket guy, where everything's cool. I don't care which of them it is. We're getting one of those guys. Now, if he's not,
Lou sold that.
If he's not a gold jacket guy,
Lou sold that
then it's some foreign guy from the motherland, which nobody knows what that means. I mean, are we talking about like the mothership and George Clinton and Parliament and P-Funk thing here, like from the like aliens or something?
So even over the gold jacket, Lou,
the aliens have landed in
the motherland.
Well, look at his damn hat. He didn't have enough to make himself a gold jacket, so he made himself a gold hat.
Whatever. To get you a gold jacket to go on.
That was a good one. Lou got me on that one. Lou got me on. He told me on that one.
Hey, whatever. Lou. All right. So, is there anyone?
But I hear what you're saying. Like, yeah, if he blows the pit, but the thing is, you don't know. I mean, we have an idea. You know, you'll have an idea. Okay, these are like the top 15 or 20 guys, and there's sort of a consensus. There's always going to be somebody that you didn't see coming. That further down in the first round, second round, all of a sudden, wow, how'd we miss on that guy? But there's like kind of like a consensus. And again, from what we're fed from the media or what we watch or so forth, or the gold jacket list, you kind of look at it. He's going to get a good player at 9. I don't think there's any question about that. It's just a matter of which one.
One's from the motherland. Like what?
But that's the gold jacket. Somebody from the motherland.
Let's get to the next question.
Is there anyone? Is anyone on the Chiefs?
Just make my funk the P-Funk, all right?
Is anyone on the Chiefs roster worthy of the franchise tag? You know what I mean? I know the franchise tag is up next. Is anybody on a roster that's worthy of the franchise tag?
I don't know if there is. I mean, Leo, that would be overpaying for Leo. That probably would be overpaying for Jalen Watson.
I don't think about Watson. I think that'll be a good.
Well, $20 million for a cornerback. I don't think he's worth $20 million a year. I'm sorry, I could be wrong. But and I don't think they're going to do Cook, because Cook's going to be $20 million. I don't unless they're going to do a tag to tag someone because they're going to trade him. Then I could see it. So I can't think of a person on the roster that's going to get a tag. I think we'll know about McDuffie, Watson, and Leo well before free agency begins. Those are probably and I think Tyquan Thornton are probably the top 4 priorities. Everybody else who's a free agent, adios. That's just me. But I don't think there's anybody worthy on the roster at the moment that is worth it.
I think it is. There's only one person worthy of it, and that's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm just playing. I'm messing with Luke. I'm messing with Nick. But I don't think nobody. Maybe if you probably look at Thornton, how much that's going to cost. You know what I mean? It's going to be way too much.
The wide receiver tag is like in the 20s, like mid 20s. He's never going to get that on the market.
I say no. I don't think nobody's worthy. Maybe Leo Chanel. If you really like Leo Chanel, and you think he got his potential of becoming one of the best DNs, or where you put him at.
We don't even know about that. We don't know what he is.
So I think if
I got the numbers. Okay,
if his number is not too high, it'd be Leo Chanel.
Hold on. What's franchise tag for a wide receiver is 28. For a quarterback is 20.7. Safety is 20.7.
So they must have just changed.
Linebackers 27.
Just DB.
Yeah.
So now that's the thing, and that's where this gets weird, because you've got guys like TJ Watt, that's an edge rusher, but he's a 3-4 linebacker.
Yeah, the numbers are
guys like that, the numbers skyrockets, and they did the same thing, I think, with offensive linemen. But Coach, what do you got? What do you think?
honestly, looking at it for real, like I don't know, guys. I don't know anybody that's a must. It's not.
Not at those numbers. No way.
It's not. Nope.
No, they really don't. I mean, you ask yourself this way. Trent would be the only one. I mean, you think, okay, what is there another team out there that would be willing to give a first and a third for any of these guys that we would even think about tagging or that would be eligible for a tag?
No.
Probably not outside of Trent. So no, I mean, because I think, Jay Watt, for as much as I like him, he's not going to command, $20 million salary. No. He might be looking for that. I'm sure his agent will push for that. But at the end of the day, I don't know that anybody's going to want to go that high. Same thing with Cook. Leo, I would pay him, but still the market tells you that he's not going to get that. And he's not worth that in a trade. So you're going to try to sign him at a probably better number. I'm guessing, maybe 2 years, $25 million, $20 million, something like that. Maybe even a little bit less. 3 years, $27 million, something like that, where it's a big raise for him. But in terms of the hierarchy of the position, that would be a steal. Now, somebody might come in and just like sees him and says, you know what? We play him as a 3-4 outside linebacker, even inside linebacker. And what we could do with him is just next level and maybe blow the Chiefs off or away.
I'd like to see a 3-4 defense anyway, but that's just me.
We're not really built for that. I don't think Spags that's in his. I don't think he wants to do that.
He's a 4-3 guy, man.
And I don't think we don't have enough linebackers to really good linebackers to do that. So, I mean, you've been drafting for a 4-3 all this time. It's hard. Yeah, if you're going to do that flip, it may take, a bit, but you're certainly going to have to go get some dogs and
you're going to need some guys
to
up
make
front.
That change. That 90 days, 90 days would be very ambitious.
Very ambitious.
Yes,
so no, there's not. I mean, in my estimation, you're not going to use that tag.
Nope.
All right, talking about the combine, it's going to be coming up next after the free agency, right? So
no, the combine comes up first. It comes up in 10 days, 2 weeks.
All right. Yeah. So what position group should we be watching at the the combine?
Defense.
Well, I think defensive line. I think defensive line, edge, wide receiver, running back.
All of them, huh, Nick?
No, I don't think all of them. I think they're set in some positions, but if you're talking about the first 4 picks, rounds 1 through 4, those are the position groups that I think are the most important. Again, depending on what they do in free agency or what they do to retain some of their guys or make other moves, but for me, I think defensive tackle, defensive end are probably going to go 1, 2. Round 3, I think that's where they get their running back. Round 4, maybe linebacker if they're going to get rid of Tranquil and Dana. But I think that, to me, makes the most sense, assuming Kelsey comes back, assuming maybe they sign Lively or they can get Pitts somehow.
Likely.
That'd be a big stretch, but I think that's where I would go. So to me, this team needs a better defense. We just for a second, we'll pass on the offensive line. We think it's going to be better next year than it was this year. It certainly will. Hopefully it'll be healthier. We know that they need a running back. I think they can accomplish that in free agency or the draft. So that's kind of, let's make that a given thing. But where I think they have to really develop is, when is Norman, like I said earlier, when is Norman Lott going to be back? Is he going to be ready for the regular season? Is it going to be week 4, week 5? How's his progress coming? We'll probably won't find out until, OTAs in about a month and a half. But I think you have to look at those positions. What are they going to do at cornerback with McDuffie? So I think defense, 2 or 3 positions, offense 1 or 2. But again, as Lou said, those picks have to hit. and they've got to be smart, and they have to do their homework, and they've had plenty of extra time to do that homework. So I feel a lot more confident that they have the ability to maybe do something they haven't done in the past, which is to really spend a lot of time in the month of January going over everything and not having to split, between, the playoffs on the field and the other things that are involved in that. So that's what I think.
I think with a group they need to watch, if I'm there with my binoculars, I'm watching Brett Veach. I'm putting the binoculars right on you, sir. You know what I mean? Everybody said fix the defense.
Brett can scoot. Brett can scoot.
I don't think you can beat him in a 50-yard dash. That's for sure.
You got the hometown kid in the first round. You got Norman Lott. You got all these high picks in the first round, being on the top 3 rounds on the defensive side of the ball, and most of them ain't panned out. You know what I mean? Most of them ain't panned out. You gave George that money, and George ain't, he ain't showed up this year. He haven't, He haven't showed up this year. So all the resources on that side of the ball. So if you're going to watch something, I'm watching him. I'm watching what you're going to do with these groups out there, because you're going to have Denzel Boston out there on the field. Probably one of the best wide receivers going to be coming out this draft, better than Tatum, better than all the other guys that's out there on the board. Then you got Love. You got all these other guys that's out there, Peter Woods, Caleb Banks. You got all these guys that's going to be out there, and you're going to be picking high this first time ever. Don't want to be picking this high again over and over again, but you're going to be your first time picking high and ever. And what draft can we attach to you? You know what I mean? Clyde Edwards-Helaire was your first round pick. Don't forget about Brendan Speaks. Everybody forget about that. You know what I mean? Everybody forget about
Breeland Speaks was a second round pick.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's a high pick though. It's a high pick.
It is, no question.
Chris Jones was a second round pick.
You got Nico Hardman, DK Metcalf. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Jonathan Taylor still left on the board. So we want to see what I'm watching. What you're going to really watch for this combine, because this, like Lou said last year, this is a make or break for Veach. This right here,
last off season, and it kind of killed them during the season.
He wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for it, Lou.
Yeah, they may. I think as an organization, I think they kind of made a conscious decision to just, hey, this is our group. We're good enough to get to the Super Bowl last year. We can kind of make this work with this group. I don't think they had any inkling that the beatdown in the Super Bowl was a big foreshadowing the way the roster was going.
I don't think they thought that at all.
So I'm gonna say this.
But if we tying all this stuff around Veach and all this, was Chris Jones Veach pick? No, you know what I mean? Because Chris Jones is the
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Stop. Who else are they going to pin it on, dude? Who else is going to do the job?
I'm just saying. You got to watch this group, because if what name can we stick on Brett Veach? You're gonna say Pat, and we all know it wasn't really, he wasn't the one to make pick.
I can watch the show with y'all two arguing about who the best GM, man.
I'm just saying this right here, like Lou said last year, this right here is going to
now this one is right. I mean, it's because
we all agree this is the key.
The beatdown was bad enough in the Super Bowl, and they just were
didn't do nothing.
Prolong the agony. Now you are in a make or break. If you go, God forbid, another losing season with Patrick in his prime years, then it gets a little sketchy, and people are going to lose their jobs.
Yes, I agree.
So
he's surviving on breadcrumbs.
So here's the thing, guys.
But somehow these guys in the front office, they're running Chicago, they're running Carolina, they're running Tennessee, they're running Atlanta.
So here's the thing. We address the defensive line, the offensive line, guys. Well, not the offensive line. We address defense, running backs. I say defense, running backs, linebackers too, because like I said, with Leo Chanel's situation and dealing with Bossa, we really don't know what we're gonna do as far as the linebacker core goes too. I think we definitely addressed the defensive tackle, the nose tackle position. We definitely addressed that, because we got to figure out, are you fast, are you explosive? You know what I'm saying? Like, those things matter when it comes to pass rush. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's a marquee right there. Defensive tackles and the linebackers.
He drafted way more.
Yeah,
he drafted alligator arms.
So the scouts, I mean, they this is their life. They work this year to year, and these guys that are coming through draft eligible now, they've been watching them for several years. The combine is just another step in the process, and it's confirming some things that maybe you saw on tape. Some guys play faster than their times. Some guys run a lot faster at the combine than their play times are. So it's a piece of it. The easy answer is you're watching them all. If you're just talking about us, what will we watch? We'll watch the skill players. The things that relate closest to real football. All the other drills and stuff for the O lineman, D lineman, it's all like really scout nerdy type stuff that isn't real football. They're not hitting anybody. They're just kind of moving around. So that's part of the evaluation. Like Dre said, you have to know, is the guy athletic enough to do some of the things that we want him to do? So all of the groups, the one advantage to this, and I think everybody made a big deal out of Spags not knowing some players going into the draft. Again, not his job, right? He's not paid to scout. He's there when they give him somebody to coach them. And they do try to catch up on tape after the Super Bowl or whatever. Well, the advantage is, or could be disadvantage, depending on what the alignment is inside the building. That's another question. But this offseason, the coaches have had the opportunity to take a look at film on some of these, on the draft eligible players, where in the past, they're just getting done this week, right, and then they got like 2 weeks to watch tape, and all of a sudden you're in Indianapolis.
They don't even get to go to the Senior Bowl.
Right. So all that stuff is okay. You have that advantage now. Are they in line? Is Veach having to take players? And that's the other question, really, when it comes right down to it, because Coach Reed has final say at the end of the day. And I'd see, yes, Veach has to put his name on it, but I truly believe that they draft players that this coaching staff likes or wants, sure, which you would hope they're in line, and that works. But that isn't always the case, right? Because they haven't had the time to watch these kids. They get 15 minutes with them at the combine, then maybe they have them in for a 30 visit and so forth. But these scouts have been working this, for 3 years, 4 years, they've been following these guys. So if you hire these guys, you trust them, you got to take their word. And then, again, that collaboration going into the draft, that's going to be a big piece of it. But as far as the combine is concerned, it's all of them, even the quarterbacks, because you never know.
Yeah. So
you're going to play against these kids, so you might as well, you're going to watch them.
Hey guys, this is your time to ask away in the chat. Like, if you got any questions,
if you got any questions, now's the time.
Who's better, Brett Veach or
Well, maybe they threw some in the.
There you go.
Earlier,
Mekhi Lemon or Jeremiyah Love with the 9th pick.
I don't think that's a question mark. I think he's making a statement.
No, we're making it a question now.
So let me answer this one first. Mekhi Lemon to me is, at his size, he can go. His route running, oh man, his separation, he got hands. You know what I'm saying? I think with 5'10", something like that. Be kind of short though, but he can't. You put that boy in the slot, he can do some damage.
We need bigger receivers, man.
And I get that. And then
I don't want another small receiver.
And then I agree with y'all. I'm just saying between these two, Jeremiyah Love is small.
I'd rather have Tyreek Hill back for 1 year.
Jeremiyah Love is small, skinny, and fragile. You know what I'm saying? He got some bounce. You know what I'm saying? He got some speed to him. You know what I'm saying? He did run track. He is hurdling over people. You know what I'm saying? So I get that. He like to run and hurdle. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. But if I was to make my pick with this offense right now, because I know y'all say we don't want no small receivers, man, but he gets separation. And that's something this DGB from the Kansas City.
You pick Sky Moore, sir. We don't want to hear it. You pick Sky Moore
because he didn't get his opportunities, man.
You pick Sky Moore over Pickens. You pick Sky Moore over Pickens.
He was a beast in college.
Why would I trust your opinion? No,
how many gold jackets that live up to expectation?
You got the damn mute button. Don't let him talk if you don't trust him. I think either one of those guys would be worthy of that pick, right? I mean, Makai Lemon could arguably be the best in this group. I think it's pretty tight at the top. I think Hense's guy, might push up a little bit. Denzel Boston, again, depending on what flavor you have. And if you're saying, one group to really watch in the combine is really the 40 times of the wide receivers, because a lot of these guys, again, you see them separating in college and so forth. And again, they're not always going against guys you're going to see in the NFL. They are for the most part, but there's a lot of games where they really go off, and it's a guy that's not going to be playing pro football. But 4-5, that's kind of like been the Mendoza line anymore. Or the actual divider. I don't want to use Mendoza because he's a quarterback in this draft, but
yeah, we can't use that anymore.
But if you're a wide receiver and use like a Denzel Boston, where the question is, hey, what about straight line speed? What about, does he have it? If he runs like in the 4.4s, all of a sudden you're gonna see him kind of trickle up the line. Makai Lemon, if he runs into 4.4s or 4.3s, or any of these guys, Carnell Tate, if they put up like a blazing time, all of a sudden, okay, we saw it on tape. We also see it in workouts. Okay, that could be our guy. So they will make some money or lose some money at the combine. There's a handful of them, and usually it's the receivers, running backs too.
All right.
Well, everybody knows.
So who would you take?
If they're both available? Yeah. Again, who's my starting running back? I mean, if we don't have a starting running back, in other words, free agency goes by and they don't get Breece Hall, they don't get Travis Etienne, they don't get any of these guys that are available, and you're sitting there with Brashard Smith and Kareem Hunt, you might lean towards Jeremiyah Love.
Do you think the receivers, we can't get separation at all from any of the wide receivers we got now? And Leonard to me can get separation.
We haven't. I'm with you right there. We haven't.
Right.
We can also think these guys are pretty good athletes, and I think with better coaching, and I'll use the word, more accountability in that room, and I think just having that experienced wide receiver coach is going to bring a lot of that. Both things, more experience, more emphasis on technique, and not just, hey, just get to this spot by within 2.5 seconds and we'll scheme you open type stuff. And I think they will elevate their game. But if you don't have a starting running back, I think coming out of free agency, then
you go Love.
I think if Love is there, it's going to be a lot greater chance that Love is the pick if they don't have a guy at that point.
There you go.
Man, you go Love. You know what I mean? You go Love no matter what. You know what I mean? I don't care if Lemon there. Now
I don't disagree with you.
Now laters who don't matter what. You go get Love. You get him right there. You put him in the backfield. You're going to be patched up on Adrian Peterson, guys. So you telling me you patched up?
I don't think it's going to be Adrian Peterson, but I think if those two guys are there, you have to draft Love. They didn't sign a free agent running back.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing is if you don't have if you've paid somebody to be your starting running back, I don't think they're going to go and use the 9th pick for another running back. Not saying that they wouldn't use them or wouldn't need them, but there's too many other holes.
Yeah.
Now, again, if you really want to load up at running back, then sure. But I think if you pay a guy in free agency, you feel comfortable at the position now that you can take a guy later to be maybe the number 2 or 3 back, then you're good. And maybe it's not Makai Lemon. Maybe it's an edge rusher. Maybe it's an interior guy that you really love. So
yeah.
See what I did there?
Crystal Lee had a question. Where was it?
Sam had a question. Go.
Okay, go ahead. Where's the question at?
He's saying trade worthy. What say you? We're on Fox News now.
If they make a trade, it's going to be Rice. It's going to be Rice.
You think?
So you trade. Okay. So Crystal said, what's the question Crystal said? Will the Kingdom keep 54? Hey, Crystal, they should for real, man, because we see the potential. We see the potential, and I hate it if he go to another team like the Arizona Cardinals, and he go over there, man, and he really put on a show. You know what I'm saying? Lead the league in pass rushing, lead the league in pressures and sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's not going to be able to do that.
You keep him.
He can't
keep him in Arizona, man. Not Arizona, my bad. Keep him in the kingdom. I'm sorry, keep him in the kingdom.
He's not that kind of player.
He never got on the top of the field to show that.
I understand that, but he's not a guy who's going to get you 15 sacks a year. He's not a guy who
I can't believe Nick said that.
He's a good player. He would be a great guy to keep. He makes sense if they use him right. You get Bass out there with some speed. You get rid of Tranquil. Then I like those three. I think what?
I said you get rid of Terminator and Drew Tranquil. That's if you watch Terminator running when he was trying to save Sarah Connor and Terminator 2 running towards the elevator. That's Drew Tranquil trying to cover. And we don't need that.
Both. Do you want Tranquil? Do you want Tranquil or do you want Leo? You can't have both. Which one are you going to pick?
I'm taking Leo Shadell.
Okay, well then you're agreeing with me that Tranquil is going to have to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think the NFL gods are torturing me today. I'm convinced.
I'll leave you alone. Go ahead, Nick.
No, I would like to keep him. Again, I think he's one of the 4 free agents I would keep.
Okay, so go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, how much everybody's changed their tune on Leo? I would.
Well, you've been fighting.
I'm not. I don't even want to say anything anymore.
You get football players.
Of course, I want to keep him. I think that again, there's a lot of untapped talent there. I don't think it's necessarily potential because when he's gotten the opportunity, he's shown to be a very good player, whether it's been in coverage, when it's been, coming on pressures, stopping the run, setting the edge. I mean, you can do a lot of different things with him. And maybe that's part of the apprehension that the team has, that they just like to almost like a Swiss Army knife rather than, hey, let's kind of figure out a position for this kid because he's going to be maybe not a dominant player, but pretty damn close. So,
right.
Any more questions, guys? I think I see
everybody's saying right now, everybody making like comments and saying Rice is a problem. He needs to go and put Royals in.
Again, he's not been charged with anything. There were accusations thrown. We don't even know if those were part of the previous stuff. So,
well, either way, we really haven't seen anything since the last thing that I heard was that said IG posts were scrubbed or they were taken down. We haven't heard anything more from that, whether it be from the league, anything else on social media, either from him or from his ex. So it seems like a ticking time bomb to me. I mean, I don't. Is there anything there? We don't know. It's looked like there was, certainly.
We don't know,
but nobody's pressed charges, whatever, so that it can happen at any time.
Yeah, until the NFL rules, if the NFL is even going to rule.
I don't even think they're involved. There's probably not. There's and I think until like the police would get involved or the victim or the alleged victim goes to the NFL and says, "Hey, I'll give you my testimony," then I think they would take it and kind of go from that. But he said, she said, and,
we don't know. Crystal, I'm all good. Bring Captain Kirk to the Chiefs.
If you get Cousins here as a backup, I'm loving that. If that was to happen, I'm like, shit. Bring in Cousins. Bring in Target.
He's going to be the Falcons.
First off, it's Kirk. All right.
Sorry, Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Second, I'm pretty sure Kirk is going to want to go somewhere that he's going to have a chance to be a starter. I truly believe that. So
that man got banked. That man don't even shop at Macy's. He shop at Target.
He's gonna have some opportunities. There's too many teams that are hurting at the position.
Yeah,
he's gonna be on the Cardinals next year. That's where you're going.
Maybe.
Hey, I'm with that too.
He's gonna be just like what's his name did with the Cardinals.
Kyler Murray might be coming to the kingdom.
Jacoby
Let's go. I'll take Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray might be coming to the kingdom.
I would take him as a backup. Absolutely.
To do what?
Not a starter.
Backup quarterback.
He outplays Patrick Mahomes.
And a wide receiver. Absolutely.
I'm laughing.
That is so disrespectful. This guy's a quarterback. We would number 1 overall pick. Yeah, we'll put you at wide receiver. Who is it? Bill Polian talking about Lamar Jackson. How did that take age?
I don't know.
Come on, Bill Polian. What are we doing?
Bill's had a rough few weeks.
Sam said, "Is there a new domestic violence policy?"
No, nothing's changed. The policies are still.
That'd be interesting. They have that. That would be interesting.
Just setting aside the issue for Rashee Rice is if these reports are investigated, the thing he has to fear is that his plea bargain will be terminated, which means he's going to the pokey. So that's what's at stake here. Again, I've not heard anything. I've not seen anything.
That only happens if and when there was charges to be brought,
and there's no charges that have been filed at this stage.
Yeah, and however that would get adjudicated or whatever, then the NFL could probably do something. But they've been just kind of waiting for the authorities to figure out what the deal is. But I get that. My question was, has anything else come of it? And I don't think it has.
He has a high-profile defense attorney.
He just feels
very engaged in the local.
The kid is just like a ticking time bomb, and we're just waiting for the next.
But you know what? If they was to have a rule like that, that's going to set the tone in the NFL.
They already have rules in place for all that stuff.
The personal conduct policy, it's been in place for years. Yeah,
it's been in place for 10 years. Since
why come it's not established then? Why come it's not established?
No. What do you mean not established? It is established. It's what?
I mean,
Well, I'm
saying like Tyreek Hill had this situations, man. I didn't hear, they cracking down hard on Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't see nothing like, you're gonna be suspended for the year or like stuff, some harsh penalties. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I haven't heard the thing. Usually, who are the guys that it's come down hard on is when there's been videotape. Right? Ray Rice, Kareem Hunt, Rashid, whatever happened there. But in terms of domestic violence or just violence against women, is Kareem and Ray Rice. And
Richard Sherman is about family. Never mind.
Kareem was able to come back from it, right? Yeah. But if they get charged, if you get charged with it, the NFL is certainly going to weigh in as well, and they have. So
Crystal got another question real quick, guys. She said this: if Rashid clears everything, will the kingdom extend for?
That would be that's going to be an interesting negotiation. That's an excellent question. That would be a tough one for them to do. Again, it depends on just what he does from this point. If this whole domestic violence thing is not a thing, or if they believe it was a thing and the lawyers kind of made it go away, it's going to be tough for them to extend it because when they do extend them, you're talking about probably, if he has a decent year next year, 30 APY. But the franchise tag is 28. So it's got to be at least that, right? So are you going to do that for a kid that you have no idea where this is going? So
Kareem said no.
That's a hard one. It's a business proposition. And if you feel like there's a chance that, now again, you can put all sorts of language in contracts. We've seen that. We saw that with Kyler, and that was kind of hilarious because of what they put in his contract. But that
was crazy. Yeah.
Again, some of these contracts, look at DK Metcalf. He lost the guaranteed portion of the rest of his contract with the Steelers because of what happened with that fan.
And how's the Rams looking right now? With the trade from the Falcons and that pick. To be up there in the number 9.
They got two first-round picks.
From the Rams' perspective, it's a done deal. From the Falcons' perspective, it looks like maybe all those whispers coming out of Tennessee, you got to take that stuff seriously. I'm sure they did. Maybe they did their investigation and they were okay with it. And again, maybe what he did there wasn't as bad, but now all of a sudden he lost it for a brief moment and probably ruined his life. And maybe the lives of some other people.
So
we're talking about James Pierce driving his car. I think wasn't there a WNBA player involved, Rakea Jackson? He was either his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. He drove into her car, hit a policeman with his car as well. Just an ugly situation.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that said, man, it's going to be a lot to rebuild this franchise. I don't want to say not a lot, not that much, but it's what you're going to do with these, picks. What you're going to do, coming out these these upcoming days, free agency. Or Jawan Taylor's going to be cut. It's going to be some, got to fix the salary cap.
For the rest of Patrick's prime, this is like a seminal moment.
This is the fork in the road.
This was I thought it should have been last year, but kind of like setting up for that second part of his career. So this is definitely it. Maybe a year late. Okay. That's why I kind of caution against, like hanging on to Travis Kelce. Not that he can't be good, not that it could be a positive, but you need just in general, the younger players that you brought in, you need them to start making their way, becoming the lead.
It's time for the last two draft class who's ever available to step up and shine.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Because we know John Dorsey class have.
All right, there we go again. All right, with enough John Dorsey talk, we'll be back on Wednesday.
We talk more about unemployed ex-GMs than anything else.
Thanks for joining the Hense Todd Show,
the John Dorsey fan club
podcast.
We'll
be back on Friday, everybody.
The John Dorsey Hour, brought to you by
the John Dorsey Hour.
Yeah.
Straight from the motherland.
He can come on the show. He's not doing it.
Chiefs Blitz podcast where the real fans unite. Every touchdown score, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate. We love our Chiefs, yeah, it's never too late.